Did I scare you? But on a real note, guys, before we get into the Q&A, I'm going to be serious, Bricks96, for a second, right? Thank you so very much for 5,000 subscribers. I know it doesn't seem like a lot, but the fact that 5,000 individual people just like took time out of their day to subscribe to me, of all people, it means a lot to me, right? 5,000 subscribers in like the grand scheme of things isn't a lot, but it means a lot to me, and that's all that matters. Anyways, now that I'm done being a little beta bitch baby, now we can get into the real reason that you came to this video, the main event. Ladies and gentlemen, it's time for...
Oh, way down south in the land of traders, rattlesnakes and alligators. Right away, come away, right away.
King Greg asks, am I planning to do a face reveal? Do I think Black Ops 2 or Black Ops 3 are both good? And what goal am I planning to hit? For the first question, I will not be doing a face reveal unless I get 1 million subscribers. For the second question, I haven't really played Black Ops 2 or 3, so I don't really know. And for the third question, my goal would be to hit 1 million subscribers, bro. I'm trying to get a gold plaque. Please. Goofy Goober Gary asks what my religion is. The one that worships the flying spaghetti monster. Muffin Does Stuff asks what my biggest inspiration is, right? Me personally, for inspiration, I just watch other commentary channels, right? Mainly like the more well-edited ones. For example, Visual Venture. One of the best commentary channels, in my opinion. Brady the Penguin would like to know if I've seen all 3 Marvel movies, and if so, which one's my favorite. I would have to say Deadpool and Wolverine's my favorite. I know, I sound a little basic, but like, just with like the crossover and, everything with the Deadpool movie, it was my favorite, personally, out of the 3. Turbo would like to know what would be my dream holiday or place to live. I would have to say dream holiday, first up, would probably be a Hawaiian beach. Alright, bro, I would probably be chilling on the beaches in Hawaii for a dream holiday. Then, favorite place to live would probably be like a nice mansion, maybe in Los Angeles. Pencil Boy asks what grade I'm going into. I decline to answer. All you gotta know is that I'm in high school. Now, Pedro the Pogo Stick has quite the question for me. He asks, what's my opinion on reaction YouTube, and what's my opinion on capitalism versus communism? Now, this is quite the question. I'm going to start off with the reaction YouTube part. In my opinion, so long as the reactor credits the person they're reacting to, and the reactor just isn't saying like random BS and is actually reacting to the content, I personally have no issue with it. And second of all, alright, so, we got the big question, alright, capitalism versus communism, alright? Honestly, both have good stuff and both have bad stuff. For example, in communism, you have universal healthcare, which is good. And in capitalism, you can become rich by owning businesses, which is also good, right? Money, we love money here. Now for negatives, capitalism usually results in the lower class sort of being enslaved, and the higher class usually having all sorts of privileges. Essentially, capitalism usually leads to an oligarchy. As for communism, communism usually ends up leading to authoritarianism. Basically, both sides end up with a group of elites controlling power, which is not great. War God wants to know if the Modern Warfare 2 2009 version of Ghost was my favorite, or the new one. Alright, now I know, alright, Modern Warfare 2 2009 Ghost is a classic, alright? His design is very iconic, but new Ghost is my favorite, alright? Alright, it might have something to do with the fact that, we actually kind of see him as a character, and he's not, like, killed off within the first game that we see him in, but, he's my favorite. Gooby Noobster wants to know my opinion on Greek mythology, of all things. Now, I'm gonna say it, Greek mythology is kind of fucking based, alright? I know, crazy opinion, but, it's kind of cool, not gonna lie. It's kind of ballin'. Undead Dog wants to know if I'm down with moving to Japan and learning how to become a samurai for $5. Yes I am, right? I would do that for $5. In fact, I would do it for more. I'd do it for 10, 20, 30, 100, maybe, 150, 1,000, a little more money than $5, but I'd still do it for money. How D6Y wants to know what my first gameplay commentary was. My first gameplay commentary was a while ago. It was when Sniper Wolf doxed Jack's films, and I decided, you know what, I gotta get in on this action, bro, because it was like the perfect time for me to break into commentary. I probably should have broken into it when I could just like milk Dream and Jelly Bean for views, but I got into it a lot later than most other commentary YouTubers that are famous today. Thornflower asks, if I give you 25 cents, will you eat an entire airplane? Yes. Yes, I will. Alright, you can give me 25, or 50, or a dollar, maybe, or $2, or 4, or 6, or 8, or 10, or 100, just a little money to support your boy, just like some quick cash, Pygmy Owl asks, why my name is Snowbricks? Alright, get ready for a major Snowbricks lore drop. Alright, so basically, before I had an Xbox, I had a Nintendo Switch, and when I had that Nintendo Switch, your name could only be 10 characters long, and so I went through like a short identity crisis trying to find a good name for myself on Nintendo, and I ended up coming with Snowbricks96 because it was 10 characters long, and I don't know what it was, but Snowbricks just stuck, alright? Like, it was like my thing, and that's how I became Snowbricks96. Reno3K asks if I'm a DC or a Marvel fan. We'll just have to wait and see how the Superman movie goes. Somebody wants to know, looking back on my first video, what do I think about it? It fucking sucked. YoungFly25 wants to know if I've ever fallen down some stairs. Not in typical old person fashion. I have not fallen down the stairs and been unable to get up, but I've slipped on a stair or two and thought that I was going to die then and there. His name is Raspadoo, asks, who my favorite commentary YouTuber is. Alright, once again, I'm gonna have to glaze Visual Venture here, but I'm also gonna be glazing a Cheeto, just because I watched his videos back in 2022 about Jelly Bean, and they were pretty funny. The Aster Chris wants to know what the answer to this math problem is. Apparently this is the answer. I don't know math. I've never been a math person, so take my words with a grain of salt. Kyle's Review asks what my thoughts are on the H3 versus Hassan drama are. I gotta be honest, I'm employed, so I don't really know the lore behind this. Can someone please catch me up in the comments? Sutard asks what the best and worst Roblox game is. Alright, now, me personally, I think the best Roblox game is Flashpoint Worlds Collide. Alright, you can say what you want, but you have to admit, it's everything that I've low-key kind of wanted from a Flash game in a Roblox game, which makes it kind of fire, in my professional opinion. And worst Roblox game so far, as of this point in June 2025, has got to be either, let me think, it has to be either Dead Rails or Forsaken, right? There's no in-between, it's either Dead Rails or Forsaken. And last, but certainly not least, Phantom Knight Encounterist wants to know, out of everyone I made videos on, who was the worst? I would probably have to say the worst people were probably the D1 Freakaleaks, like Rocky Raccoon or Shappy Sway, those types of people. Because the other people I talk about, they're usually just goofy goobers with who make brain rot, alright? It's usually not that serious, except for Techie. I fucking hate Techie. Techie, if I ever see you, I'm gonna fucking kill you. Basically, I don't really like the major, freaky PDF file type persons. Comment of the week status goes to Sweat Tyler 12, who simply says WVid, and I think on that note, I'm probably gonna resume normal video posting next week. Multiverse AU is back, sadly, so it's probably not great. Alright, we need to assemble a task force right now. Alright, everyone, start talking about this guy, please. Alright, we gotta attack with overwhelming force. And I'll see you guys all later. I'm out. Peace.